Hey everybody, clearing. All right, first off, I do want to say I'm taking a few days off after this reading. You won't see me, please don't worry. I just need some time to decompress and go through some of the things that I'm dealing with in my personal situation on this journey. And so yes, I will miss you and think of you. If I have a scheduled appointment with you, that will still be going. I just won't be doing YouTube videos for a few days. I intend to be back Wednesday. Okay, having said that, I'm also going to open up personal sessions. My little one's going back to school, so I'm going to have more availability and known time available. So I'm going to let you all know that next week when I resume readings and open up my calendar into December all the way. So that'll be fun if you've been waiting for a reading. And today I'm going to start with a community board question. How does changing geographic location, moving, affect the twin journey? I was also guided to include how does seeing other people affect the twin journey, and how does blocking my twin affect the journey. So the first bit of information I want to share about that is the divine clearly comes through time and time again in private readings, and I'm sure on YouTube it's happened before as well. But do not do anything through superstition about how you think it's going to affect your twin journey or not. That's superstition. If you are second guessing and waffling and deciding, how will this affect my connection? What is my divine counterpart going to do in response to this? That's not the appropriate mode of operation that the divine would say is most beneficial. The most beneficial is for you to do everything that you are led to do because it is in alignment with your connection to source, and you are right with it. Your soul is right with it. That proper alignment will always bring you into alignment with your twin. Your true twin, that will always be advantageous. I've had it before where one twin moves to one state, unbeknownst to them, the counterpart had always wanted to go to university there. And now it's like too good to be true because it just naturally organized. That's just a very basic situation. But don't do anything through superstition. Do all things, all motions between you and the divine. That's the proper order of things. This is a spiritual journey. And when you do major life decisions based on what is truly best for you, that is what is best for the twin. What you do for self, you do for twin. If you're at the stage in the journey where you're actually communicating about collaborative living and mission and work and all of that, you're in that phase, that's a different thing. But if you're just trying to premeditate what's going to put you in an advantage for union, don't do that. Don't bother that. Okay, so let's get some cards and see specifically though. Moving to a new location. Thank you, Divine Creator. What is it we can see regarding moving to a new location and how that would be considered? We're getting the Son of Swords in the reverse, and this is literally not having communication about things. So literally, if you're trying to guess if you should move to a new location, you could throw it out to your twin and just say, hey, I'm thinking of moving to another location. Do you have any thoughts on that? Chances are your twin is going to say, that's amazing. Go, do you. Yes, that's awesome. Don't take that as rejection if they want you to do that and are not being codependent and trying to hold you back. But definitely feel into it, you know, with that. Let's get a clarifier for the idea that we could communicate. We get another card of communication. The Page of Wands, the Daughter of Wands, is about your spiritual connection to source. Yes, so have that sweetness. Is it a pure intention? Is your decision to move based on something that is in alignment with your heart? Again, reiterating, oh, isn't this cute? So Hanged Man and Mother of Wands. So if you follow Daughter of Wands energy, you will gain the perspective in time that allows you to see the full realization of your potential. Divine Feminine. I'm going to take, because this is my Divine Feminine Queen of Wands card, that this question is mostly for the enlightened twin who's watching tarot readings, and I don't want to say that the divine counterparts are not enlightened. Actually, I would like to retract that, because I actually do believe that the divine counterparts are enlightened. But enlightened to the consideration of whether this will affect the twin or not. I do feel like divine counterparts consider major life moves and likely do have the twin come to mind as well. But in the event that that doesn't happen, I'm speaking to those who are overly concerned or prematurely concerned with the choices that could be made. So it will be shown in time how it is in perfect alignment with your twin, with union, with the journey, if you do all of the things between you and the divine. Okay, so that's moving to a when you reach your full potential as this Queen of Wands, because you've followed your true path, that is when you are qualified to also come into union, I felt to add. Okay, seeing other people. I'm gonna shuffle these cards back in and keep using this deck. But so seeing other people, how can we get more? Oh, see, yeah, it did come out in the reverse though. So seeing other people, again, the first message here is it in alignment with your deepest truth, or do you feel for some reason it's contrived? If your heart and soul are not in a choice with seeing other people, don't. If there's not anything beneficial to be gained from it and you're just doing it for some disintegrated reason, out of fear, out of uncertainty, if you're acting out in any way, don't do it. If you're wearing a mask, if it's not your truth, don't do it. And that can be an interesting meditation to get into. Okay, anything else about seeing other people? Is there any benefit in seeing other people? Oh wow, the Hanged Man came out again. This is the new perspective and equal give and take. You know, divine feminines specifically and divine masculines, knowing your worth and knowing what actual authentic reciprocity looks like is the only beneficial reason to see other people and learn from those connections. You won't ever really have that with anyone but your twin. Soulmates, yes, you can come to very close arrangements like that, and you can do it for shorter times to see what it feels like. So that's the energy here, but just make sure it's your deepest truth and consider if you can step through it hypothetically, or if you need to actually do that in the physical or not. And not one is worse than the other as long as it's coming from that authentic place. Okay, let's see for blocking the twin. How does blocking the twin play out in the twin flame dynamic? Okay, we get, oh yeah, so 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands, these are two really gnarly cards. This is the existential crisis, left for dead, self-sabotage, and the burden. So if you seriously need a break, if you just cannot handle more on the journey, blocking your twin can be a pause, a necessary pause, if you need to go that far to end cycles of pain and burden. Again, this is a lot of ego struggle. This is a lot of karmic struggle. This is the existential crisis. Pardon me. Meaning that this is the furthest from divine love that we can work our minds into. So just take note when you're feeling like you need to block, be aware that you have strayed from your connection to source and you are wanting to, you know, it's like that ego death. You're wanting to calm the struggle. You're wanting to calm the burden. See it that way. Not that you're wanting to block your twin, and ask yourself, is there a way to keep the channel of love between us less hostile or less definite? if you're needing to block someone because there's actual abuse or aggression or those kinds of things, absolutely. Don't stay open regardless of those sort of things. Especially, I'm being told, I don't know why I need to say this, but restraining orders and legal things like that, that's likely not a twin flame. It's likely karmic. So really tune in. If it's your ego that's saying, I can't love this person because it's too painful for me to do it because I can't control the situation otherwise, really work on that point of evolution in yourself that conquers the fear, that doesn't take any perceived rejection or triggers personally, that loves through that and gives yourself a reality check that you don't have to escape your twin because you're not getting your way, or because there's embarrassment or drama. Work on what has caused that and consider if you need to be so extreme. Sometimes we block or are tempted to block when we feel hopelessness in the connection. So get to the bottom of what that hopelessness is and ask yourself if blocking is actually necessary or if it is an energetic statement of conditionality. Beautiful. Okay, let's get into the Divine Masculine reading today. So what is it, Divine Creator, that we can see for the Divine Masculine collective? What are the Divine Masculines thinking about their Divine Feminine and the connection? What is on the heart space for the Divine Feminines from the Divine Masculines today? What are the Divine Masculines wishing for the connection? Oh, I'm being told to do Divine Feminine as well. So what are the Masculines' actions, blocks, etc.? Okay, so Divine Feminines, I'm going to shuffle those now. What are the Divine Feminines wishing and doing, blocked by? What is the spirit guidance for the Divine Feminines today? One more deck for Divine Feminines. Thank you, Divine Creator, for bringing through only the highest and most beneficial information. I wasn't intending to do the Divine Feminines like that, but let's go for it. That's the guidance in this moment. Okay. Divine Masculines, what are we getting? Five of Swords and Knight of Wands. Okay. This is my card of free will. It says Lord of Defeat. It's also a victory card in many decks, but it's a shallow win. It's taking the easy way. It's kind of an undermining energy when we think that it's going to be advantageous, but it actually is not beneficial, whatever we think we're supposed to do in the spur of the moment. It's kind of that energy that we let ourselves down with. And so doing our best is really tapping into true commitment and patience and love and kindness and, you know, accommodating a greater capacity. Divine Masculines are passionately inspired to push past their previous capacity, is what I'm seeing there. Okay, Divine Feminines. Are you kidding me? Same card. Five of Swords. It is in the reverse for the Feminines. I will often say that the Feminines, you know, or actually, sorry, when the Five of Wands is in the reverse, there's been a choice made to go through to the progress, or there's an unwillingness. It's one or the other, but it's an internalized motion here. Let's see what the other card was, the Hierophant. This is the Divine Feminine's own embodiment of union within, of wholeness, and even in this Hierophant card, this is a feminine in the High Priest. location. So yeah, it's really, really interesting that we've got this free will choice. So divine feminines, you've been looking externally for something from your masculine that you're learning you can get within on your own. I believe this is an indication that many of you watched the telepathic messages and have empowered yourself to internalize this process of healing and negotiation rather than reaching for the person in the 3D, which is secondary to the energetic connection. That's exquisite. I'm going to pull a Starseed Oracle for some connective bridging energy between the two there. Rescued reflections, divination, and inner vision. Yeah, so divine feminines, you have tuned into that. What you do for self, you do for twin. And intention, mental breakthroughs, and ideas. So spontaneously, divine masculine has had spooky action at a distance. There's been a passionate resurgence, I just heard, because of this balanced accountability from both sides to look at the free will choices of the individual, of each individual. It's beautiful. This is coming into really more masterful energy. I love it. Okay, so divine masculines on the heart space for the feminines. Long-term abundance. Wow, King of Pentacles. So, and legacy, 10 of Pentacles. King of Pentacles in the reverse here. This is talking about moving things forward in the physical. It says Prince of the Chariot of Earth. When it's in the upright, in the reverse, this is still coming out of karmic situations. It's a husband card, so divorces, needing to come out of something, or just come into a more long-term focus that is true abundance rather than the things that have been committed to in the past that are keeping this connection at bay. There's this growing desire to include you, divine feminine, in the long-term plans. Yeah. Okay, for the divine feminines. Oh, a card wanted to come. So this card fell off the deck and landed on these two. So I want to include that self-love is part of this motion because there is a non-codependent tendency for twins to really go through karma cleanup and transitions on their own and not use the twin as a crutch. The divine masculines are seeing their capacity for self-love increasing. And that is also another way that there is wind in the sails to clean up the karmic or those free will choices that would lead to a karmic backlash versus the choices that would produce victory and true success going forward. So there is that here too, where the divine masculines are loving themselves enough to not just do the instinctual or the easy or familiar, but to actually set sights on this long-term abundance, which includes you, divine feminine. For the divine feminines on the heart space, wow, putting the work in, we get the devil, the 3D, like you are buckling down and actually you're walking your walk, talking your talk. Feminines, you mean business. This is like a determination to ground this thing to become fully embodied in the physical, to be your full expression with every cell of your body. I got this message for the divine masculines a few weeks ago regarding commitment and how the divine masculines were wanting to have this commitment with the physical, with the divine feminine in the physical, and here you are, divine feminines, really just letting it sink in. This doesn't feel strained or stressful. This feels very, very surrendered actually, and just a practical stick-to-itness. How lovely. It's just so solid. Okay, what is the connective energy here between in the heart space? Angelic assistance, truth, salvation, and majesty. Temple of celestial revelations. So divine masculines are petitioning the cosmos for the long-term beneficial path, and divine feminines, you're petitioning this higher truth and the angels to show you what you need to do each step of the way in the physical. Beautiful. What are the masculines wishing? Princess of Cups in the upright. That came out already for the self-love, and the Four of Wands. So yeah, they are really wishing to come into union to come into showing you the love that has this major union twin flame energy. So I just heard some divine masculines are rethinking the twin flame concept. If they've heard about it before, they're starting to see how it's not so far-fetched after all. For some, they're just learning about the twin flame concept. This is exciting. So they do know that you are vastly different, your connection is different, and twin flames are catching on. It's a household name these days. It's becoming very mainstream. So yeah, divine masculines, the emotions are coming in that this is really true and authentic, and that it is happening to them. So they're wishing to continue to explore the idea. Oh my gosh, everybody. We got the Four of Wands for the Divine Feminines in the wish place too. Wow. And the Three of Wands, like not wanting to wait any longer. There's this readiness. There is such a becoming. The Three of Wands is the card right before the Four of Wands. And so in the reverse, feminines, you're just holding steady and meeting, waiting for the masculines to meet you there. And that is truly divinely guided, because look at how close union is. That's the second mirroring duplicate for everybody in this reading today. Let's see what the bridging energy on that one is. I'm a little bit mind blown right now. What can we see, Divine Creator, for the bridging energy here? Union. Are you kidding me, you guys? I'm going to hold up the Four of Wands for the feminines, the Four of Wands for the masculine, and the unification card. So this says clarity, knowledge, channeling, and union. So yeah, everybody's coming into an exquisite level of being divinely guided and just in it. Also divinity, honor, responsibility, and humility. So it is a sacred honor to be a twin. Everybody's accepting that cup. Everyone's accepting that holy grail, and those who are watching this, just let that roll through you in waves of recognition and humility that you are on this journey, that you are mirroring your divine counterpart, that union is coming in, that we are getting there collectively. I feel a very sacred hush, a golden light energy around me right now. When I feel into this energy, everybody, it's really quite beautiful. And so just know this is not imaginary. This is a sacred process that's found all throughout the cosmos, the twinning, the duality, but even the twinning at the galactic center, and how things polarize and have that positive, negative, and north, south with magnets. It's all part of that dynamic that is inherent throughout all levels of our physical reality. Wow. Just beautiful. Okay, what can we see for the actions the masculines are taking? The Chariot and the Star in the reverse, Lord of the Triumph of Light. So they're going forward with this empowerment on the energetic levels, not knowing and not being attached to the specific assumptions of how this destiny should play out, but knowing that they are being guided. I just posted a song on the community board that talks about the loved one being a guiding light in everything the singer does. But that's like that. It's like this pull, the North Star that's leading. What are the divine feminines doing? The Moon and the King of Air. So they're allowing the mystery. Divine feminines are allowing the mystery to be presented, and not, needing to know or proclaiming, assuming, waiting, staying open, watching as more is revealed. Here we have this cosmic energy of the stars and the moon. The sun and the moon are represented here. So there is a surrendering here of the feminine's need to know basis. They don't need to know. Their divine feminines are waiting to be surprised, because there is a growing readiness in the divine masculines to move this forward. Again, I want to say that may or may not happen instantaneously. This could still take months. This is real world, moving the 3D, moving mountains. Yes, faith can move mountains, but there are lots of free wills involved with real people and real dynamics and situations. And most importantly, the deep, deep level of full recognition of the patterns and the karmas that have been playing out that we are learning from in order to be able to teach different modes going forward. It's a sincere process, and it's deep, and it is complex, but it's simple. It is love, but it's intricate. So it's not difficult, it's just very, very intricate in how it extends out through the fabric of our reality. And so that's why it takes such a long time to switch over in the physical, because there's just so much involved with it. It's the whole nature of reality switching lens from the physical orientation to the spiritual. And so it's each thought being translated over to a higher understanding, one at a time. What is the bridging energy for the twins here? Chamber of initiation, spiritual gifts, mystery, enchantment, and secrets. So divine masculines, you're moving forward with more spiritual confidence, and the secrets are coming to light for you feminines. So I'm actually getting a bit of a polarity shift where the masculines are leading in a certain way, taking this spiritual energetics by the reins and navigating in a different way. I'm looking at the 55 for changes. I'm being reminded that we had the 5 of Swords, the free will, the 5 and the 5 mirrored in the beginning, and here we have it in the connective space. So this is taking our free will captive. So masculines are activating energetically, being empowered by the truth of the connection and energetics being the new grounded reason to do things, and the divine feminines are suspending the mind and not needing to know all of the answers, trusting that what is needed will be revealed rather than it needing to be something sought with hard work. Trusting. Okay, lovely. What is the biggest challenge for the masculines? 2 of Swords regarding how to, okay, Lord of Peace restored. This is a crossroads, but this is knowing that they have to offer something. That it's a kindness. It is a self, an offering of self, can be an apology, can be a love message, but it's taking action in some way in the physical to restore the peace here. Masculines know that they can make a difference. And isn't that indicative of self-love when we value our effort, our confirmation, because we know it's important. We know it's valued by others, that we are sincere in offering it, and it means something to all involved. What is the challenge for the feminines? This is interesting because 2 cards that have come up in this reading in the reverse. The challenge is not manifesting based on assumptions. I just heard, because we just got this idea that the feminines are calming the assumptions and not needing to know, trusting things will be revealed. And the 3 of Wands is manifesting things. So feminines, you are being tasked with putting down your assumptions and keeping an open mind so your manifestations don't pull you off on a tangent that's not based in reality, that's just the fantasy of the mind. Okay, what is the solution for the masculines? Queen of Cups in the reverse with the 7 of Cups. Deepen your own intuition, divine masculines. There's a little bit of a blocked vision here in this crossroads about what to do. So it's time to go back to the drawing board, meditate on what the loving solution through the confusion and all the options might be. Queen of Cups in the reverse truly means that you have more ability to tap into than you are currently doing so. So this is getting to know what your emotions are telling you. There's lots of emotionality here, but divine masculines, it's time to really be sincere about what your emotions are saying and take action based on that. Divine feminines, what is the solution for this not manifesting based on assumptions? being practical and loving yourself. The same message that came out at the beginning about making major life choices, not through superstition on how it will affect the twin, but really coming into the grounding that is between you and the divine. That's the same message here. Find what is the best scenario for loving yourself and do that in the physical. Come into the practical motion that you don't need to know what your masculine is up to if you are in separation or distance at this time, that it is about making the choices in the physical to move the energy in a positive direction for your life. And that is not the opposite of union. That is not abandoning your masculine. I want to say that out loud, feminines. If you do things that you feel are self-serving because they're truly what's best for you, and you're still in guilt and shame that somehow means there isn't enough to go around, that's a lack or a loss template. It's a competition template. There's enough abundance for you to have your full dreams realized and that benefit your twin connection. Believe it, claim it, feminines. What is the bridging energy here? Seal of Metatron, form, structure, foundation, and cosmology. So masculines, you are tapping into your intuition as a new spiritual foundation that will not lead you astray, because you're learning what your emotions are, so you don't have to defer or be at the mercy. And feminines, you're stepping out of the assumptions and becoming more practical. This is a new foundation. So there is an integration of the masculine 3D analytical attribute of doing things in your own rights, feminines, and then there's that inclusion of the feminine attributes of intuition and emotions for the masculines. And this is setting a new yin-yang balance in the two. Wow. Okay, so what direction is this connection going? Four of Swords and waiting. Two cards of integration and waiting. Four of Swords in the reverse. Masculines, you can speed up this waiting time if you actually go into the analytical and meditative state that asks the divine to show you this. Like literally go into meditation and say, show me the way. What do I need to understand? How can I look at things? That will speed up the process. And for the feminines, we have putting down the resistance and trusting that cycles are completing. So I heard for some, if you haven't heard from your masculine, no news is good news at this stage on the journey. And that has almost been the mantra that's come through personal readings more often than anything in the last few days is, no news is good news at this stage of the journey. Okay, what is the bridging energy between the twins here? Simultaneity, nonlinear processing, and epiphany. So it's a tandem co-creative effort right now between twins, and it's nonlinear. So just feeling like ping-ponging across timelines. There's a lot of loose ends being connected, dots being connected in the consciousness, and making epiphanies, an overview, sort of big picture thinking of the whole journey. And we get Temple of Meditation, communion, contemplation, and higher mind. So bring in the communion with your twin. If you're sorting some of these aha moments, these epiphanies, share that energetically with your twin. If you can reach out and share those and that feels right to you, do that. Okay, I'm just going to leave the reading there. Everybody, many blessings and bye for now.